Bonafide Hustler here, and today I have a quick thrift haul to show you. What's going on, guys and gals? Chris the Bonafide Hustler comes to you live from the inside of my Boddamn garage. That's right, you should follow Boddamn the Fitness channel on YouTube and on Instagram. But yeah, I'm in the gym garage and I'm going to show you a haul today that was all bought from thrift stores. Now, there are other things that I've bought in the past, week or two, but these are specifically thrift store finds. So let's get right to it. And by the way, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at the Bonafide Hustler. And you can get this free money-making guide, which will teach you basically 50 amazing items to buy and resell that you can find typically used at garage sales and other places. And you can flip that stuff for big profit. It's free. It's down below, first link. Okay, I just realized, looking at this pile right here, that there's one item. I've misled you guys. There's one item that actually came from garage sales. But we'll get to that. It'll be the last item. It's super cool. Okay, so let's get right to the haul. The very first item, this was, I think I'm $7 into this, and then I paid around $10 to get some stitching done because there were some issues, right? So I bought this at a Goodwill. This is a Pendleton vest, and this is the Chief Joseph, I want to say, print. Pretty neat. It's a size large, beautiful Pendleton kind of vest. Now, I kind of wanted to keep it, but at the same time, I just think it isn't really rugged enough. It's definitely stylish enough, right? And it's just got that Pendleton top part to it. It's not the whole thing, which would be super cool and probably vintage at that point. But these are just current day. They're nice and all, but they're polyester filled. They're not the greatest. And honestly, like just with the button snaps and all that kind of stuff, I just feel that this thing's going to break. At least with my kind of use to it. So anyway, I think this is worth about 80 to 100 bucks. And like I said, I'm $7 into it. And then I paid $10 to an alteration lady that was, close to my house to fix up a little pocket tear that was like right here. So you want to check these things over. But, even with the pocket tear, I probably would have sold for like 60 to 80. But now that it looks like this and it's perfect, yeah, something you should look for at a Goodwill. And the funny thing is, when I was at a Goodwill, I saw someone else with this in their hands. They had like 3 vests in their hands and they were just roaming around the store, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I totally missed a Pendleton vest. And luckily the guy was actually holding them so he could get around to a mirror in the store so he could try the 3 vests on because he was going to buy one of them. He wasn't a reseller. And that was cool because the second he put down this thing, I picked it up. Pretty nice find from a Goodwill. Next find is this A-Light Monarch camping chair. It's really small in here, and I'm going to flash pictures of what it looks like when it's built. And it's kind of confusing because the chair actually is like a balancing type chair. So if you were to get off of the chair after sitting on it, it would just like fall to the floor and crumple up kind of. It's hard to explain, but it doesn't have 4 pegs to hit the floor. It's more of like this rocking seesaw chair. Very weird. I found this at a Goodwill for around, I think, $8. And it should sell for around 80 to 100 bucks. On eBay, no problem. It's very light. Camping gear typically is pretty light because people put this in their backpacks and they hike to their sites sometimes. But yeah, it's a camping chair. Nothing super crazy, but this was in a bin at a Goodwill on a random like Saturday morning. Next find actually is like a Kickstarter type brand / almost like a crowdfunding type brand, but this is a brand called Gustin. I know at least for this backpack right here, this was definitely a crowdfunding campaign, and they were issued out around 75 bucks, maybe $79. But these are really cool backpacks. Gustin is an interesting brand that builds very heavy duty backpacks, and they oftentimes use really cool leather like Horween leather or something like that. So these are all Horween leather accents, and it's pretty nice. Horween has just got some really cool thick leather kind of things, right? This is a cool backpack, and it also has a seatbelt type straps to it. It's kind of an overbuilt kind of backpack, honestly. And if it was a little bit bigger, I'd probably keep it, but it's just enough to fit like a 15.6 diagonal laptop in there. Very functional pack, mint condition, should sell for around 100 bucks or so. I know it's over what the Kickstarter crowdfunding thing was, but you can't find these things anymore, so they're pretty cool. But what drew me to it when I was at a thrift store were these little accents that kind of reminded me of a JanSport vintage backpack. So something to look out for. And plus, the best part about it is it can kind of fold, and you can put this thing into kind of a tight, maybe shoe mailer kind of box or something like that. It can get real small. We can get this thing shipped out. So something to look for right there, some bags to bucks. Okay, next up is something that my girlfriend found the other day at a Goodwill, actually at a Savers. These were found at a Savers. These were 20 bucks. They should resell for around $130. And these are Doc Marten Triumph plaid boots. So they're Doc Marten boots, and they're in the Triumph style, which has the bigger holes right here with the interior that you can fold down. So Triumph models sometimes have the plaid interior like this, sometimes have floral interior, things like that. And they come with these weird, wacky kind of laces like that. Anyway, these are in mint condition. Check that out right there. These should sell for around 130 bucks, and they are cool. Not something you see every single day. I'm surprised she actually picked these things up, because these are the kind of things that when they make it to the shelves, they would be gone in a heartbeat. Doc Martens are a great thing to look out for, and oftentimes things like this aren't even offered in the current day catalog of Doc Martens. So, you know, we're dealing with something that is discontinued, and so that's the reason why you can sell these things for around 130, almost as high as like $200. Okay, so a really cool RC to bucks find right here from a Goodwill on the evening. This is just something really interesting. It's a 1/6 scale, maybe a 1/10 scale, sorry, 1/10 scale Peterbilt 387 racing rig made by New Bright. Now, New Bright is a pretty cheap RC consumer goods company, right? They build really cheap radio-controlled, remote-controlled vehicles that oftentimes you can find at you know, Academy, Target, Walmart, places like that. You're not gonna find these at a hobby store, but you know, really rare ones like the Escalade or the G-Wagon Mercedes-Benz one, many different dune buggies, and even something rare like this would sell for right around $150 to probably $200. And you'd be like, why? First of all, I bought this thing for $5, and people that have true radio-controlled cars, like hobby grade, are looking for the bodies of these tough New Bright vehicles. Because the bodies and the shells that the hobby grade vehicles come with are very flimsy. They kind of suck. They're made out of Lexan plastic. This is much harder plastic right here, and it's very cool, and it looks very authentic. As we can see, it looks like a real truck, you know? So people want to buy these things just for the bodies, and sometimes they retrofit the wheels too to their current rig, and they put spongier tires and things like that. So that's just the reason why if you go on eBay and you look at New Bright solds, you know, used ones especially, you're gonna see some really wacky things in there, and you're gonna be like, God, I pass those things by all the time at a thrift store, and that's probably the truth. So if you know about it, you can make some good money on New Bright kind of stuff. I'm gonna actually sell this one as is, like intact, untested, a couple broken pieces, nothing crazy. Should sell for right around $150 to $200. I would think right around there, someone would want it that bad. All right, another find that my girlfriend found at a thrift store. This was at a Goodwill. This is a Jill Sander bag. Now, I didn't know too much about this brand until she got it, and she was like, look at the comps on eBay and everything like that. And sure enough, Jill Sander bags are, you know, selling for pretty big money. It's almost like a boutique Lululemon, you know, gym bag slash kind of travel tote, weekender, that kind of thing. So it's by Jill Sander, Jilsander. Be on the lookout for it. I think this thing could sell between $200 and $400. I'm not even kidding. So I think she's $10 into it. Nothing super crazy, but not something you see every single day. We have it listed for much higher. But you know, someone's gonna be out there and they might offer $200 and would totally take it. But we'll see. You know, aim for the moon. It's one of those things that I'm really, really good at. Is I find a lot of great items and I shoot for the moon on the prices, with the hopes that A, they buy it at the moon price, or they offer me something that's still pretty high, but it's a little bit more reasonable. So, you know, 50% of the time, get an offer, 50% of the time, they buy it for the crazy high price. So anyway, this thing right here, I'm estimating $200 to $400, a Jill Sander. This is a weekender kind of tote bag right here. It's made out of almost like a waxy kind of nylon. It's hard to explain, but it's really weird looking. Anyway, really big tote too. I just don't, it seems like by the time you actually put stuff in it and you hold it like this, I mean, I guess that would have to go around your shoulders or something like that, because this thing would probably hit the floor if you're just holding it in your hand. So pretty big bag, check it out, bags to bucks, Jill Sander. So the last find, I know these were all supposed to be thrift store items. Man, I'm sorry, I let you guys down, because I'm gonna show you something that came from a garage sale a while back. And the funny thing is, this was probably about 2 years ago, and it just resurfaced in my garage randomly, like totally randomly. What happened was I was cleaning out my eBay shoe wall, looking for listings that, how do I explain it, that had canceled out on eBay that I didn't know about So I was taking shoes down from my shoe wall that were pre-boxed and everything like that, that just weren't listed on eBay. So I had to relist them basically. And in one of those shoe boxes, for some reason, was this item. And that is a like replica firearm thing, right? This was actually found at a garage sale, okay? At a garage sale. This was found at the bottom of a Nerf gun lot, like a box of Nerf guns with all the clips and little bullets and all that kind of stuff. This was at the bottom of that box. I couldn't believe it. So we have an actual tower replica made in Japan. It's not a real, well, could be, but it's a replica of a flintlock pistol. Yes, and if you're thinking Pirates of the Caribbean or something like that, you're pretty close. So it's pretty neat. Has everything. It's one of those muzzle loader kind of deals. Kind of scary, honestly. But there's nothing in the barrel, which is cool. And for me to put this on eBay, I had to actually super glue, which it came off, so I had to super glue it again. But I had to super glue a orange thing to the end, something more permanent, you know. Very interesting kind of policies that they have, but obviously when you're dealing with replica firearms, there's all kinds of things that you have to adhere to. Interesting thing about this gun is that it takes on average 4 to 6 minutes to reload it, okay? So if you fire it and you're in like a war setting, it takes you 4 to 6 minutes to reload it. And oftentimes people would get like bum rushed, or, they would just not be able to reload in time. And so the back of this is actually called the skull crusher, because as you're reloading it, you're going, oh my gosh, like, let me reload my gun. Oh, there's like soldiers coming at me. You would put this back and you'd be like, oh, but no, soldier, you're dead. Like, you would go like this, and then you would hit him over the head and use this as a weapon. It's called the skull crusher. This piece on a tower replica gun alone probably would sell for around $100. Just this little end piece right here. This is a really cool replica, and it's very, very heavy. All right, this is like solid wood, super heavy. It's beautiful. But yeah, this was at the bottom of a Nerf gun box at a garage sale. Like, super cool. Slightly risky, but whatever. But yeah, after this video is done, I'm gonna super glue that thing back on the rim. Obviously the buyer, when they buy it, is going to make a decision what they want to do with that end piece. They can make a decision whether they want to fire it too, like that's up to them, and it probably could be fired. Believe me, everything is ready for that. So yeah, pretty cool kind of thing. I think it's gonna sell between $250 and $350, if I'm not mistaken. And I think for that Nerf gun box, I was like 10 bucks into it, if not like $5 into it. So it's not something you see every single day. What do you think? What's the coolest find of all the things I showed you today? And let's just pretend this was a thrift store item, okay? And maybe I found this at a thrift store. Pretty neat. Let me know down below if you enjoyed this video. And if you did, hit a like, put a comment, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.